Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin started his tour in Djibouti, home to the primary U.S. military base on the African continent.
Africa deserves better than outsiders trying to tighten their grip on this continent. Africa deserves better than autocrats selling cheap guns and pushing mercenary forces like the Wagner Group or depriving grain from hungry people around the world.
If you see me in the streets, better holler at me. Seeking for a beat, throw them dollars at me. I don't like defeat, take that away from me. You tryna be like me, you couldn't handle my story. But we gon' let you know, we gon' let you know. We gon' let you know, we gon' let you know.
Well. Hey guys. So, let me get this straight. All of a sudden, Africa matters. All of a sudden, Western countries are starting to realize that Africans are no longer gonna stand for shit. Man, thank you for tuning in and welcome back to yet another episode of Mr. J's Reaction. They call me Jay, man. I'm a Mongolandian. I'm living out here in the diaspora. And for the past couple of days, man, I've been dropping vlogs just to talk about things that are happening, news from Africa. And it would be an honor to always have you be part of the family. So man, before we get started, if you're not done it, please don't forget to give us a like, a thumbs up, man. Hit that like button, smash that subscribe to, man. It's actually gonna be real nice to always have you on board. You feel me? So ladies and gentlemen, the UN General Assembly 8th session just finished a couple of days ago. And one reoccurring theme that we could pick out from that is upon everybody who spoke, every head of state who spoke, all of the African leaders, it seems as if they came out this year swinging. Some of them were, a little bit slow, but a couple of them came out swinging. We can talk about South Africa, Ghana, we can talk about Guinea, we can talk about a whole lot of them came out swinging. And what they were swinging about was the fact that they called out the West. All of these leaders came out calling out the West because it's been going on for so long and nobody has been saying shit. Excuse the language, but that's what it is. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this vlog we are going to talk about the recent news from Luanda, Angola, man. The U.S. Secretary of Defense, Mr. Lloyd Austin, he was in it. He gave a press conference in Luanda, man. And this press conference, this man said, Africa matters. Now that makes me just wanna bust out and laugh because for this man to go into Africa right after the French ambassador left the Republic of Niger, and knowing rightfully well that people felt that the Americans were going to help the French in Niger, it's kind of like ironic because they are seeing what is happening to France in Africa, and enough is enough. So the Secretary of Defense, he was like, man, he's going to let his boss know that even his boss knows that Africa matters. It's time for Western powers, it's time for foreigners who keep coming to Africa and telling them what to do to quit. It's time for all of that to stop. Then he calls for the creation of more military US base in Africa. Now ladies and gentlemen, before I say anything, is anybody seeing the effect of BRICS? Russia, China, in Africa already taking place? Is anybody seeing that? The Secretary of Defense is actually not saying all of these sweet words that Africa matters because he actually thinks that his country is gonna stand for the benefits of Africa, because we all know that the Americans have created a whole lot of havoc around the world where they put their people in position, puppets, man, or they back puppets that was in position in Africa. And then all of a sudden this man comes out and talks about they want more military bases in Africa, collaboration, Africa needs protection. Africa for Africans, man, resources, this, blah, 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 blah. Bro, let me just say this, man. Mr. Secretary of Defense, Mr. Lloyd Austin, we see what you're trying to do, but I think that boat sailed already. You feel me? Now, you people are coming to Africa because you are already seeing the effect of China and Russia in Africa. You guys are seeing how beautifully these people are growing and the partnerships that these countries are getting with some of the leaders in Africa. You people are starting to understand that the West has never done anything good for Africa. They only went to Africa for its resources, and the light bulb goes off, and now you people want to protect Africa. You want to make sure that Africa matters. Ladies and gentlemen, this man is saying that, and me watching that press conference that he gave and talking about his boss, his this, Africa matters, whatnot. I couldn't help but just smile. I couldn't help but just wonder what Russia and China will be thinking. I couldn't help but ask the question too. The West has been in Africa for decades. The West and its allies, they've been in Africa for decades, centuries. And you guys have not been able to do anything tangible. All you guys have done is build military bases, help, put your puppets in position, help steal, loot, create havoc, assassinate leaders that were standing for their people's benefits. And you guys didn't even think about developing the continent. And then these forces come in, China and Russia with BRICS. China to be exact, because we all know that you are in Africa talking about protection and this, because you are starting to fear China being in Africa. All of a sudden, a different superpower, because let me say this, man, China, look, the economy of China is growing at a 3-to-1 rate as compared to the West and all of its allies. America and all of its allies. Let me just be clear. Let us be clear about these things. Let's not beat around the bush. So, Mr. Secretary of Defense, you are in Africa because your country is starting to feel the pinch, the paradigm shift of African leaders moving towards China. And of course, when they're moving towards China, they're moving towards BRICS, China and Russia. And we all know that this is geopolitics. Isn't it a shame? Isn't it shameful that you've been in the continent for decades and you do nothing, and a country like China comes in, and within a short period of time, mind you, with little or no military bases, because I think China has just one military base in Africa, as compared to America and her Western allies, especially France. You guys need these military bases all over, but you don't do anything. China, Russia comes in. They are building partnerships. They have infrastructural development, which you guys didn't think that it was necessary. And all of a sudden you want to tell us that, oh, we Americans do think that Africa matters. We can give you the protection. No, you guys are just there to protect your own interests. And you guys are there because the Chinese economy under President Xi and BRICS, they are doing great things for Africa. You guys are panicking because it is an end to your hegemony. I will end this vlog by saying that I want you to chime in, leave a comment, tell me what you think about this whole geopolitics camouflage that the Secretary of Defense said in Angola. Do you think that he is being honest, or he is just doing this, or the country just sent him, his boss sent him to go around Africa just because they are seeing that China is quickly pushing them out of the main picture? Leave a comment. That's my time, and do not forget to hit that thumbs up and like. Subscribe, man. Let's keep talking about this ish, man. I'm gonna keep dropping every week. From me to you, man, be good, be nice.
Creation, reaction, God. Big up TRB family. Mr. J, I see you. I know some artists don't do this. God bless you and your family.